It's Labmas, it's day 8, and you might like snow for Christmas, but we don't want it in our hair, so there's a tedious link to dandruff shampoo for you. We're going to start with some vegetable glycerin, and to that we're adding cationic guar gum. This is a cationic thickener that's actually compatible with anionic surfactants, and the reason I'm using this is because cationic is conditioning, and the last time I made a dandruff shampoo it was a bit too clarifying and drying, and I felt like I needed just a few ingredients just to make it a little bit nicer on the hair, as well as using my active. So you can see here it's nicely mixed up, and we're going to add our water. Now this won't thicken straight away because the thing with cationic guar gum is that it needs the pH lowered, so you can either do this with a pH adjuster, or because I'm making a nice soothing anti-dandruff shampoo, I'm actually going to do this with aloe vera juice. So we'll just get this mixed into the water and then we'll add that, and you'll see just how much it thickens and how quickly when I add that. So here's the aloe vera juice. We don't need much. If you want the formula for this, by the way, it is on Patreon as usual, and there'll be a whole PDF thing probably. Yeah, and you can see that thickening up so much. Now I have probably used a bit much because the last time I used this I didn't use enough, and I seem to have gone completely the other way now, so this is so thick. I actually quite like it for this shampoo, but if you do go on Patreon and get the formula, you probably can reduce it by 0.5% or even a whole percent if you want it not quite as thick as this. But again, you never know what the fragrance oil is going to do, so that's kind of why I make it as thick as possible in the beginning. So let's work on the surfactant phase. I've got AOS 40, which is one of my favourite anionic surfactants. It's mild, it cleanses, it foams, it's really easy to work with. And to that I'm adding our star ingredient, which is climazole, which is the anti-dandruff and antifungal agent. Now this is soluble in surfactants and some other things, but not water, which is why I'm adding it to the cocamidal propylbutane first. And this is a really good anti-dandruff ingredient, and you only need a very low percentage of it. So I get this from naturallythinking.co.uk in case you want to grab it. Now I'm going to pop that into the AOS 40, and then I have another ingredient in my surfactant phase which also helps this be a nice sort of feeling shampoo and conditioning a little bit more, and that is glycerol oleate. It helps to smooth the hair and prevent the shampoo from being too drying, and it also allows the hair to be easily combed through and look a bit glossy. So we're going to mix that together, and again that's really thick too, so we're going to add this into our really thick sort of water mixture. And yeah, I'm wondering at this point, is this going to be really thick? But actually the combination of the two thins it out a little bit because, you know, science. So I'm going to mix that really fast, and then we're going to add our technically cool down phase, but there's been no heating, so that's irrelevant. It's just phase C, and in that we've got Saligard PCG, which is our broad spectrum preservative that works in a wide pH range with a loss of surfactants, some D-panthenol, which is a humectant that helps to decrease frizz, smooth the hair and make it easier to comb, and then some fragrance oil, and I opted for cucumber and mint from White Rose Essentials because it just feels like a nice fresh shampoo-y kind of scent. Mix that in. Viscosity is okay, there's quite a lot of bubbles, but don't worry, they do settle over time. You just have to let the bottle sit for a while. That's why it looks a bit lumpy, because all the bubbles are coming through when I'm pouring it. But this is the shampoo. Here's a creepy bit of hair again. You should be used to these by now. Again, that's from my hair dye video, which is on Patreon. You can see it foams and it lathers really nicely, and as I rinse off there's no like resistance when pulling through the hair. It's nice and silky. Yeah, pleased with this. Here is an anti-dandruff shampoo. I hope you like this formula. If you want it, it is on Patreon, where you can join all of these lovely people and more. These are my VIP and mentoring patrons. Thank you for all my patrons for sponsoring basically all the videos, and I will see you tomorrow.